So we talked about how the more you work with the energy, the higher the vibration, and the more we can channel, the more we can flow through.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience when suddenly you seem to stop? Or because we always say to people, your intent switches it on. Just put your hands down, it will flow.
Yeah.
Has your flow ever stopped?
Yeah. And there comes a period where you don't feel anything. You don't feel the same about it.
I mean, we talked about
drive's not there.
We talked about like you doing a session, and you can go, I can feel this, and I can see this.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did it? You just stood down and you thought, I can't feel anything. I can't.
No, it wasn't while I was working with a patient. It was. I had a couple of days off as it happened, and I just didn't feel the energy anymore, and it was the most horrible feeling because I wasn't sensing anything, I wasn't feeling anything, I wasn't seeing the colours. It was like I was stripped of everything, which was, it's a horrible feeling because you don't want to go back to that, the way you were years ago. You've had that experience yourself, haven't you?
I mean, for me, it felt like I was just taken offline.
Yes, that's it.
And everything was going fantastic.
Yeah.
People were reporting the most amazing things. I could feel the energy building from session to session.
Yeah.
I'd come for top-up achievements off yourself and was firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And then one day, it just went.
That's right.
I couldn't feel it. It was like you're reporting that. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't sense it. And that sense of the vortex just disappeared.
Yeah.
It was empty. Everything went empty.
Right. And even the wanting to read and everything else, all that is like, oh, I've had enough of this.
Yeah. It's like just the off
switched
switch.
Off, yeah. And then all of a sudden getting the realisation that, hang on a minute, this is a time out for me. And I recognised what it was then.
But it took you a while.
Yes.
Despite all we know, despite all we've experienced.
Oh yeah, we don't know everything.
You go, it still floored you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, because it's like, it's my life.
Yeah.
And for that to just stop overnight,
yeah.
Oh, horrible, the most horrible feeling. And that is awful when it happens.
So for you that must have been really frightening because you've had 30 odd years of that
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Just off.
Yeah.
Did at any point you think that's me done, that's it, it's just gone? Or was it just confusing?
Only, it was confusing, but only for a couple of days, and then the penny started to drop, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm being tested, and also, you know, are you going to fall at the first fence? Get up, and this is your time out. So it was about meditating, contacting, going in with my guides, and then getting the books out, and it was like me time. So now it's like rebooting, recharging your batteries.
So there was a time, was there a period when the switch went off, but you couldn't read and you couldn't think about it? You needed just to
sit and meditate.
And then
it all started coming back. And then it came back even stronger. So it's like, he said, you're being rewired, so to speak.
So the electricity was cut off.
Yeah.
While a new circuit was put in.
Yeah.
And when that switch came on, did you feel it straight away? Did you just
immediately? Immediately. And that's why I always tell people that are doing the healing and all that, you'll come up against that yourself. Everybody does. Where you don't feel as though it's working, or is it my imagination, or you know, all the self-doubts start to come in. But again, you're being tested, and then to recognise what it is, take time out for you, because you're just as important as everybody else.
I think it's important for people. I think it's important for people to think that you've got to be at your best.
Yeah.
So you're at your
best
for other people.
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah.
If you're not at your best, even I won't even have a drink. If I've got people in the next day, I won't have a drink the night before because I'm not at my best. If I've had a glass of wine, say, I don't have it now. But years ago, if I had a glass of wine, I would feel it. We feel it, the effects of it, worse, 10 times worse than an ordinary person, because because our energy is so high. It's just not nice.
And it's really interesting because I remember us talking when you were going through that, and the light had gone out.
Oh.
I mean, I know you well, and,
Yeah.
I could see the light had gone out, and not long after I had exactly the same.
Yeah, and isn't it like it's like spiritual death?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And it was, everything just shut down.
Yeah, and it's like, because you've grown so much in that 30 odd years, you've come such a long way in your spiritual journey and your spiritual awakening, that to go back to sort of square one,
Which
and
is
it's a
exactly
place
how
you
it
don't want to
feels.
be. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's horrible.
And then when it comes,
Dark night of the soul.
and when that reboot happens, you really do feel the
Yes.
benefit of it, don't
Yeah.
you? think, right, it was just offline.
This is what
for
it
now.
was. Yeah, and I think most people that are on the spiritual path, on the spiritual journey, or doing the healing or whatever, the major ones will have all gone through really the dark night of the soul thing. You know, the really, really bad times. You know, a lot of people I come across have been through horrendous experiences in their lives. You know, and where it takes them down, rock bottom, makes them question everything. And but when you understand that, if that's ever happening out there to people, I would always say to them, stick with it, because there's great stuff up ahead for you. It's a big major
And I
spiritual
think it's giving people
lift.
permission to go, it's okay to take time out.
Yeah.
You've been shut down for a reason. You've
Yes.
been rewired, take the time out.
And you're just as important as the next person. We forget ourselves, you see, we're so busy giving that we forget that we're just as important as the next person. And it's good if you are Reiki practitioners to do shares on one another. Like I often give you a session, you give me a session. There's other people come in and give me a session. You know, blast, what we call it. And that's good because it's time out for you. So you have to honour yourself too.
I think with a lot of people it's kind of a guilt thing. Oh well, I should be doing it. Somebody's calling me. I should put them in. I should put them in. I should say yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm dead on my feet, and I do need some
and you've
time
got a family.
So you know, get over the guilt and just go. I'm taking 2 weeks off. I'm taking time out.
I've had people where people can be selfish as well, because they think that you're there, and you're there to serve, and you're there for them only, and they're not interested in your life. Like I said before, I've got children and grandchildren, and I've had people turn around and say to me, "Are you working on Christmas Day? Are you having a laugh? Am I working on Christmas Day? I don't think so."
That would be a no.
You know, because they think because this is what you're doing that you should be there to serve. You get the most lovely, lovely people coming through your door, but you get the most obnoxious, arrogant people coming through your door as well. Unfortunately. Well, again, they're being sent your way for a reason. And it's how you handle them. You know?